So what does recovery mean in mental health? Well, many people would argue that there are three types of recovery. It's what we call the tripartite model. There's the obvious one that most people are familiar with. That's medical or biological recovery. Essentially, in biological or medical recovery, the symptoms have gone. If you used to hear voices, you don't anymore. If you were depressed, now you're not. If you had an anxiety state, now you're more confident. The symptoms are no longer there, and therefore you're said to have recovered. Then there is social recovery. I might still be anxious from time to time, but I can hold my job down. I have friends, I have a social life, and I'm valued in my community. That's another form of recovery. And then there is psychological recovery. Yeah, I still hear voices, but I don't care. They don't bother me at all. I know what they are, and I'm in control of them. But yeah, they're still there. I just think about them in a different way. Now, most people would argue, most people who subscribe to the tripartite model anyway, would argue that any two out of the three is enough. So, for example, I might have social recovery. I'm functional, I'm holding down a job, I'm able to think well enough to construct these courses. I have a partner, I have some children, get on okay, got a mortgage which I managed to pay, and I have friends. I also have psychological recovery. Yeah, okay, I'm still hearing the voices, but I know what they are. It's my thoughts, and I can control my thoughts. It took me a while to learn it, but now I can do it. I don't have biological recovery, but so what? I have two of the three, and any two of those three is enough to get effective, meaningful recovery. Now, you might have your own views on that, but I'd ask you to think it through and do it by thinking about the people that you know personally or that you've heard of. And see if you can list people who have the different combinations of that. So people who have social and psychological, people who have biological and social, and people who have psychological and biological. Just write them down. And if you're in a group, talk it through, share your ideas, and share your experiences of people. And you'll find that just as it's true of physical disorders, it's also true of mental disorders. For example, if I have diabetes, but it's well controlled with diet or with insulin, then to all intents and purposes I'm recovered. I've still got the symptoms of diabetes, but they're managed and controlled. So I have a reasonably good life. I have just as good a life as I would anyway. I am short-sighted. You could say that because I still need glasses, I don't have medical recovery. But it doesn't matter. When I need my glasses, I put them on. And I'm fine. I can manage perfectly well. I can see, I can drive, I can read. I have recovery because I have two of those three. Have a look at the exercise. Think for a while. It may take you some time, but think it through. And remember, we're not just talking about voices, but we're talking about anxiety. We're talking about depression as well. How many people do you know who only have two of those three and who are perfectly functional?